Hi, I'm Liam Moynihan. You might have seen me from some Dudes of Hazzard or other videos in the past. I've just come off 6 weeks living in my van, travelling around Europe, doing some races and generally having a good time. So this is 5 top tips for living out of your van. So one thing I always look out for is somewhere to wash. I don't have a shower in my van and most people probably don't unless you're really living in luxury in a big camper. So I generally try and park near a lake or a river or some sort of body of water, even if it's a fountain, that's pretty good as well. Failing all else, I've got a little pump-up shower which is meant for watering your garden but comes in an absolute treat when you're stuck. If you're washing in some absolutely pristine lake or river, it's quite nice to avoid the soap or get some eco-friendly soap for the occasion as well. Another beauty of being parked up beside a nice river or lake is if it's real cold, you can get your food, your yogurts, your milk or your beers in a little net and tucked into the river or lake to keep them nice and cool. Yeah, so if you're going mountain biking, you'll probably be in hilly or dare I say even mountainous regions where the car parks are probably not going to be very flat, which is a bit unpleasant for sleeping as it feels like you're rolling out of bed the whole time. So it's worth remembering your chocks. So you can get the fancy yellow ones that people have, or you can make them out of 4x4s by just cutting them at an angle, and there you have a nice cheap 50p chalk. You don't need to then forage about for little stones and rocks and things to chalk the van up. One massive advantage of driving about and living in a van is that you can take all the stuff you possibly need. You don't need to worry about cramming it all into a box or bag like you do when you're flying. Make sure you've got everything you could possibly need, like lots of toilet roll for jobbies in the woods, tins of kidney beans, chopped tomatoes, onions, things like that that keep well and you can make your dinner with when you're parked up somewhere that has no shops. I like to keep lots of jackets in the van, a few spare gloves, tyres, helmets, everything you could ever possibly need. So that means you never have to harass any of your fellow campers to borrow things because that's always annoying for them, and you're never stuck when you're parked up somewhere remote and just want to have your dinner and go to bed. Once you're parked up for a week or weekend or whatever it might be, somewhere nice, it's nice to leave the van in position, so it's worth thinking about how you're going to get around to shops or restaurant or sign on if you're at a race. It's always worth remembering your bike lock so you can lock your bike up wherever you might want to go. If you've got an e-bike, that's a beautiful little tool to have with you in the back of the van. If you want to go to the shops or restaurant or whatever, just hop on the e-bike and off you go. Myself and my girlfriend have got a nice little trailer set up for our little daughter, but we can use that for collecting all the shopping and bits and pieces as well, so the van never has to come off the chocks and the awning can stay out once we're parked up. Every van is obviously a little bit different in size and shape, and everyone's needs are going to be a little bit different, so don't be afraid to fire on in and create some little adaptations to get your setup best suited for yourself. A good example is if you don't have air conditioning and you're driving somewhere hot, get a little flexible hose and stick one end out the window and the other end up your shorts. That'll keep you nice and cool. Another good example is my friend James has in his van a bit of a dirty diesel heater. So instead of just having that on show, he's got a little orange light behind a bit of wood with a cutout of a fire on it, so it gives a bit of heat out and also has a bit of a fire effect, so added romance. So don't be afraid to fire in and adapt your setup to best suit your own needs. The real beauty of living out of a van is that not only is it cheap, but it's also incredibly easy once you're away from home. You've got all your stuff with you, you're sleeping in your own bed every night, on your own pillow. It's comfortable and life's just easy.